We have a taken echo.
Ja. Ja. Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got Was SnowWolfie. Was stands for Warno Anime Society, playing as 16th Belgian, and they're going up against First UK, played by CheekiBreeki. We're on Death Row. Belgian, yeah. Death Row, yeah. I assumed this was a tournament game from the FOB HQ tournament, and the reason I believe this is because Death Row isn't in ranked. Right? Anyway, looking at the deployments, oh, I might as well speak about the map because it's not in ranked, so people don't see it very often. Basically, red's on the good side, and why is it the good side? They changed these zones. And they split the middle zone in half, which is what we'd been asking for. But they also removed a bunch of the trees, which was a big shame. There used to be trees here. And the way they've split the zones is really daft, because red gets alpha basically for free, like blue gets this house, which, as you can see, is kind of easy to shoot around. And on the flip side, red gets all this, and blue only gets these two little tree blocks. So it's really difficult for blue. Over here it's basically even. But yeah, it's really difficult for blue because red gets preferential access for both middle zones. Anyway, looking at the deployments, we got some of these guys. They do come in helicopters with airborne forward deployed, but on a map this small, nah, you should really still be bringing it in the helicopter because you could literally drop it here. Or maybe the scimitar would get you. You could drop it here. But instead, he's just gone for the standard wheeled thing. And yeah, on the left, some reservists in the trucks, not in the M113 A1B, which is sort of the whole point. Behind the reservists, they get a non-reservist transport. Some of the only reservists in the game to not get a reservist transport, so it makes them very strong. The other ones are in the Dutch div. So yeah, they're going to. Well, actually, I don't know about the French ones in 5 easy. Anyway, they're going over there, and also on the left. Okay, these are going for mid. Minstrel, Milan 2, Milan 1 in a Milan 1 M113 A1-B-MIL. Wow. That's going over here. And he's putting the ATGM truck thing looking down that road. An assault for Charlie. Forward deployed CV for Bravo. Well, that's daft. Basically, this should just be unloading on the spot. Why unload it there? You're just wasting time. What's the advantage of unloading it there? Just unload it on the spot. Save the transport. Once it's finished capping, load them back up and take them over here. Behind that, another reservist and another Milan 1 in the funny transport name. Forward deployed Hub Veto 2 coming down here. And then another forward deployed infantry unit. I mean, you can go for this house at the start with your forward deployed infantry. You would get there at the same time the enemy does on opposite sides of the house. And that's backed up by this forward deployed AA piece, which would help you in the battle for that house as long as you keep it far away enough to not get shot. You could have it back here and use its 250 cal, or is it 450 cals? It's 450 cals on the enemy infantry. And then, yeah, 25-point exceptional optics recon. And then 4 Leopard 1s. So, typically, you know, if you're going to be buying loads of Leopard 1s, you'd want the minstrels with the Leopard 1s, because that's what the enemy is going to target. But there we go. And he's bought the cheap ones that have 1 less pen. Which I think is a big shame. And he's not bought the CV one, right? So you could, instead of getting 4 of these, you could get 3 of the good one, 2 of the regular good one, and then 1 of the CV one, which is actually the bad one, but still, you could have 3 tanks instead of 4, and they'd pack a much meaner punch, switching to his opponent's deployment. First UK, SAS Patrol coming out here. Terrier Paras, I think they're terrible. I think they're terrible. Anyway, he's going all the way over here, he won't make it. More Terrier Paras, Carl Gustav, very, very aggressive deployments. I feel like he's not played against Belgium, because Belgium does get airborne deployment. Although, having said that, he's not actually put any airborne stuff down mid. So these are probably going to make it and just take the whole zone. So that's a shame for Red, just not understanding the map. You know, should have an airborne forward deployed guy. Fusiliers, you get them. Excuse me. Or the I'll just edit that part out, right? Or the ESR thing. One of these coming down here. But no, it looks like he's going to give up his side of the map for free. Scimitar behind that. And behind that, even more stuff. So for the left, we've got a Milan team and a tracked rapier. And for mid, we've got two more Milan teams. These are Milan 1s, it's worth pointing out. I guess because he knows he's against Belgium, which doesn't have good armor. But having said that, a Milan 2 would one-shot these, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it does. It's 24 pen. Yeah, it does. It does. So Milan 2 would one-shot these tanks. So it is probably worth bringing the Milan 2. But yeah, two of those, Chieftain Mark 9, Tracked Rapier, and Assault and CV, which is going to go Echo Foxtrot, which is the wrong way round. It should be going Foxtrot Echo, because generally your enemy will have a CV in here, if he's deployed properly. SAS Patrol for the right, Terrier Paras, Carl Gustav, actually going all the way over there, interesting. Usually there'd be a Humvee forward deployed TOW 2 here, but there actually isn't. You know, stop this sort of thing from happening. Scimitar behind that. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's cast the game. Shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to chill like my life depends on it, because it does. As of February 14th, 2025, I will be unemployed, and I will still be writing my PhD thesis. So this channel will be my sole source of income in that trying time, and then once that's finished, I intend to try and make a video game. So if you're a channel member, you get your name on the screen, you get the videos early, you get members exclusive videos, and you would also get access to that game, which is sort of going to be like, it's a Crazy Taxi-like, you know, like a Souls-like, it's a Crazy Taxi-like. Most of my audience aren't Zoomers, so I would assume most of you have heard of Crazy Taxi. A really good game. And it's going to have a map editor, you'll be able to upload your maps to the Steam Workshop and so on. Anyway, it's a shame SnowWolfie didn't go for this building, and these guys have unloaded early here. This is too close, the Terriers will kill it with the Carl Gustav as soon as they get in that building. He's making as much of a meal of it as he can. I mean, he just needs to get in the building. I'm not sure what he's doing there. Really trying his absolute best to not do that properly. Anyway, he's given it time to get out of range. Ah! Fighter purchase, first tick. Okay. I guess he was expecting a first UK bomber first tick, but if first UK buys a bomber in the first tick, they're a moron. Because not only have they saved 15 points in their deployment to buy a tornado, but also their push is going to lose all its momentum because they bought a tornado bomber. So this thing probably not going to make it. It's making it. And the Terrier Paras did get pushed out here, but over here they managed to get in. These ESR guys, I'm not sure how their health went so low. That's probably because the tank is shooting them, and the Scimitar. Yeah, they're not going to make it. Yeah, big shame from SnowWolfie not putting more forward deployed stuff on his side of the river. I mean, he's got all these Leopard 1s, maybe he'll swing them round and start killing stuff. He's managing to take out a lot of the... I liked using that to kill the Milan 1, but then he flies over all the AA and dies, so it's not worth it anymore. And he's just gone straight into spam. This is not worth bringing on Belgium at all. I mean, I appreciate that it's got regular bombers as well, but the other bomber, the Mirage-looking one, is better. Okay, so Tornado Cluster out here. It takes 9 sec 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5, Mississippi 6, Mississippi 7. So, yeah, he just reaction times of a snail there, just loses 3 of his Leopards for no good reason. Should have not driven into the trees. He literally drove into it. Could have gone this way, would have been fine. So yeah, you hate to see it. That cluster just paying for itself basically immediately by getting 3 tanks there. So big sads there, and it looks like CheekiBreeki's managed to get this side of the map. I think a lot of this probably comes down to like lack of practice because the map's not in ranked, so only the OG will remember Death Row. And the F-16 should get that, and it does, so good kill on that cluster. I mean, it dropped its bombs ages ago, and then he just sort of kept it around. That didn't really have to happen. Could have made it, could have survived. And what I'd like to see from Blue here is reinforcing the zones he's already got. And the areas he's already got. So yeah, holding on to this is important. Having something here is important. But making sure the enemy doesn't take this is important. He's already past the hardest part of the game. And late game, Belgium's all about just spamming out reservists and stuff. It's not really in a position to fight, the good fight against a div that has affordable IFVs and better tanks. So another F-16 purchased, and he's going to fly him over the same tracked rapiers as last time. Maybe he makes it out. I'm just going to turn the volume up a bit. Don't understand why it was so low. I do apologise. I don't understand why the volume was so low there. I do apologise. It does make it harder to hear. Yeah, so yeah, what to say? I mean, it's getting a bit scrappy now. Both players still attacking despite not having that much stuff. This SAS patrol should really be in this building. And yeah, of course, at close ranges, the light tank is going to beat the IFV because the gun's going to hit it. These guys do get a max range sniper rifle. It doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it will sit there plinking away. But so do these guys. Same story. F-16 gets the hell arm there. Dodges the rapier. Good micro. Getting it out. Needs to be in the house. He's not in the house. He's just stood outside, so he's getting none of those cover bonuses. Having said that, if he gets into the house, the Gepard will immediately begin shooting him. He does not have AT. Oh, rifles coming here. So he needs those rifles in there as fast as possible. The rifles would clean all this up, the vehicles. So what he needs to do... yeah, he's dead. He should have got in the house and then got behind the house, or just passed behind the house. Yeah, what is there to say? Not looking great, although that gives CheekiBreeki the opportunity to get in this very coveted middle house here. He's getting another warrior replique. Generally, between the two of these divs, I mean, the whole point behind Belgium is that you're supposed to get ground early with your limited forward deployment and then defend for the rest of the game with all your spam. If you're in a situation where you have to attack, then you just try and outspam your enemy, outmass your enemy. Whereas this hasn't really gone his way because he didn't deploy his forward deployed stuff here, so he just sort of lost that to First UK, which has sort of inferior forward deployment. I mean, the Terrier Paras are basically exactly the same as the Fusiliers, but you know, no Humvee TOW2s, no forward deployed AA in the form of that 50 cal thing, which isn't very good, to be honest. I wouldn't even be bringing that, but the forward deployed TOW2s, and then, you know, you buy a fighter. Because, yeah, it's a tough one. Not sure where the F-16 is going. And I think Blue could use another tracked rapier over here, or move this one over there. Because he's not really doing much over here. Oh, no, never mind. The enemy's obliging him, just flying over him there. And now he's going to evac over him, which you don't get to choose. And he gets hit by the backup one, which is coming over here. So yeah, he has bought more AA. Warrior Pleats cleaning up. I mean, these have Milan 2s on them, which one-shot these tanks. So it's pretty much a fundamental outdraft. Like, if I wanted to beat Belgium, couldn't really have picked a better div to do so. Because you've got your own limited forward deployment to deal with the enemy's limited forward deployment. And then Milan 2s eat Leopard 1s for breakfast. And you get so many of those on everything. In the Warrior Pleats and so on, as you're about to see. There you go, see one shot. Anyway, I mean, he saw this come out, so that was just bad micro there. Could have just right-clicked it, he would have got it, right, because he literally saw that running through the field there with this recon unit. Leopard 1's trying their hand at taking out the baddies, having a tough time of doing so. And, yeah, it's tough. I mean, Red needs more infantry here. Not sure where it's all gone. Like, he just keeps buying fighters. So over here, these reservists do have AT. That Hellon didn't react fast enough. Reservists missed the first AT round. They probably won't miss the second, although the reload time is 6 seconds, so they might not even have a chance to shoot again. Oh no, he did miss, probably because he was low cohesion. It's only 45% accuracy to begin with. But yeah, that on the side... Oh, 4 side armor. It would have survived that, actually. Rifles here, if you try and resupply up here, they do start coming down weird routes. And SCS Patrol not in a building, just stood outside dying. Although they'll probably still win because these are reservists. If he got in that building there, he'd be much more effective. Another F-16 dead. Just needs to buy some Minstrels, bro. Minstrels are very good against Lynx Hellon. But yeah, it looks like Blue's taking all the front zones. I mean, he's up to here. The rifles with their 20 AP will not one-shot a Leopard 1 in the front, but will in the side. Very effective. I mean, you see how bad these little truck things are. Whoops. Gepard is useful as well, but honestly, Minstrels very useful. So, not looking great for Red at all. I mean, as soon as the CV gets up here, then he's losing stuff. He's actually bought another Tornado Cluster. I'm not sure about that, to tell you the truth. I think just get a Chieftain Mark 18 and just fight the Leopard 1s and you will win. Can they even shoot you at max range? I mean, he's not even bringing the good ones with the 17 pen, which are worth the extra price. No AA here, so this should be able to take out that Warrior Replique, although... Is he on defensive? He's on aggressive. I don't know if that still does the smoke thing. Sultan coming over here to contest this zone. And here we go, some infantry. So look, this costs 50 points, and it doesn't have an ATGM on it. I just think it's way overpriced for what it is. And the Tornado Cluster does have side missiles on it. The so-called laser beam. The Ligma, AIM-9 Ligma. And yeah, this is the good one. No, it's not. No, the good one is the one that costs like 5 points more or 10 points more, and it's got 2 more bombs on it, something like that. It's definitely more worth it. It's worth it to but yeah, he needs to get some reservists up here. I don't know. I mean, it's not looking great for Red. So FV432 Assault Pioneer Carl Gustav, not a very regularly seen unit. I mean, 50 points for that. I suppose he's already bought one. Whereas for 55, you get the Law 80, which is better. You lose Shock, but Shock doesn't really matter. Paid 5 points for a Law 80 over a Carl Gustav is very worth. And then if you want cheaper infantry, you can pay 10 less points for 1 less guy and a worse... You know, this is just such a weird price point that you generally... I feel like you don't need it. You can either have this, or you just bring this, and then what is the point in this? What is it bringing to the table? Shock, I guess. At which point, you should just be bringing Pioneers anyway if you want to do close quarters stuff. So I feel like it doesn't really have a place in the game. It's got the same, you know, the Carl Gustav's got the same range as the Law 80. It's got 4 less pen. Over here, using a tracked rapier, okay, I would have assumed Javelin here would be a better shout, because, you know, the tracked rapier can go down quite easily to tanks and stuff, although none are forthcoming. This IFV, it doesn't have recon, right? So, the arm rifles will 2-shot it, because the 2 armor. Oh, there you go, that's one way of dealing with it. So he's got an upvetted Belgian Paladin there, the M109. I know the upgrade is called the Paladin, but like it's so hard to play the game when to cast the game when everything's just got names that don't mean anything. And like, so this is called the Warrior, right? And so you can just say Warrior and it means something to people. It's got a connotation to it. Whereas this is called an AIFVBC25 and it must have had a name. It must have had it. There's no way the Belgian soldiers said, quick, getting the AIFV-B-C25. It's just a nonsensical notion that they said that. So why don't they just call it the name? Right? Leopard. You see what I mean? Scimitar. Rapier. AIFV-B-C25. It's just stupid. People who actually, like, the decision has clearly been made by somebody who does not play the game, because if they did, then they would understand how inconveniencing that is. Immediately they'd say, well, we need a nickname for it. So yeah, it is frustrating. Anyway, you see that this has a pretty juicy chain gun on it. It deals 4 AP, whereas the other one deals 3, so yeah, I mean, he needs to be killing this guy, really. Which he will do pretty fast. So he's managed to sort this out, but... And he's got somebody here, just below this little ridge line here. I mean, if Cheeky just walked over here, he'd see that. But hey, at least Red managed to push him back here, so there's still hope for him. Bomber. Track Rapier doesn't aim in time. And the SAS Patrol, they don't have guns. So if I was Red, I'd be fast moving. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sadly, he is going to run into a Chieftain Mark 9. So this has less range than a Leopard 1, but at situations where they can both shoot each other, my money's on the Chieftain Mark 9. I mean, it's got 19 pen. 18 at the same, you know, at max range it would be 18 if it had max range, which it doesn't. It's got a very slow rate of fire. So yeah, well, okay, so if this just stopped moving here... Oh, so it can shoot at max range. But, I mean, as you can see, well, I mean, sadly you missed, but... What? That was a lot more damage than I thought it would be! Anyway, here you go, Assault Pioneers Carl Gustav coming into their own here. Because at this range, they might be in shock range. Yeah, look, you see he's got that little highlight there. Oh no, this guy has that little highlight as well, so maybe he's not in shock range. Maybe it has to glow brighter white. Anyway, they're only reservists, and they're not in forests, whereas these guys are in forests. So you see the difference in damage output is quite substantial here. But, you know, this costs more. Like, 50% more. 15 points more. So... M109's going for the Milan 1. Yeah, that Leopard 1. Not long for that world. And this still has its bombs and stuff. But yeah, the Warrior Replete, it's only a bit more expensive, and it will win these fights. And, you know, it's really good against the Leopard 1s. It's just a really effective unit against Belgians, like as you saw there. I'm not sure why he left his guys loaded up. But yeah, you can see the efficacy. And, okay, so Cheeky's finally going to sort this out. I mean, all he's got to do is stand there and he'll see it. No, never mind. He's changed his mind again. Or just, you know, just move this forwards. Like, there's really not a whole lot there. Okay, he's just going to bomb the corner anyway. That also works. And, yeah, you know, Belgium does struggle against the air spam, so you gotta have minstrels where you're fighting. Which he does not. This didn't drop its bombs, though. It did get evac'd by the minstrel. Yeah, so the Milan 2 that was here did get taken out by that. You can usually tell because they go, ah! Even if you can't see them, they still make the sound. But yeah, I think this is just an outdraft, really. I think... Oh, wow, he does have reservists in the M113A1B. I think First UK has tools that are pretty good at dealing with swarms. You deal with swarms by spamming Milans and warriors and medium tanks. And then medium tanks are just slightly better than the Leopard 1. You pay a bit more for them, but that just means that you just win every tank fight. And your IFVs are better. So it's a rough one. We'll see how this goes. I mean, he's going to miss him, right? But he does seem to be driving into it. No, he still missed him. And yeah, you know, like a Chieftain Mark 9 can survive a Toe 2 hit and a Milan 2 hit, whereas a Leopard 1 cannot survive either of those. And so this is 140, but the Leopard 1 at 110 is just so much worse. I really do think it should probably be cheaper, like 10 points cheaper. Well, I don't know, I mean 30 points is a big difference. But it is just not good. It's got high rate of fire, like against IFVs they do win, right? Like they beat the warriors. It's just you've got nothing to kill the chieftains, but you see he's clearly winning that fight because the accuracy is good, the range is good, the rate of fire is good. It's just the pen ain't great and the armor's not great. I don't know. I mean, need to compare it to like the Leopard 1A1A1, although that's got less range. It is like 75 points for the Dutch one and 85 for the other one, whereas this is 110. It does have more range. Anyway, that's GG. So blue, quite a convincing game there for blue. Blue is Clint Eastwood apparently. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, you see the warriors and stuff. I don't know. Just I think that was a bit of an outdraft. I think this div is pretty good against the Belgians. Generally, the Belgians are a bit weak at the moment. Anyways, I'll see you around. GG.